Hey guys, how's it going? Divonis here, back with another podcast. And today, yesterday, I moved back into my dorm, U of H, finally. Last year, hopefully, knock on wood. So yeah, I moved in yesterday. I finally finished right now. So I just thought I'd sit down and just do a little podcast right now. I just wanted to talk to you guys. Because I actually had a topic in mind I wanted to talk about because I was actually thinking about it while I was moving out. And the topic we're going to talk about today is being a first generation college student, being from a lower income neighborhood. So, just a little background on who I am. My name is Divonis, birth name Nicholas Pittman. I'm from originally born in Spring Branch, but for the most of my life, I lived in Acres Homes. And if you know the Houston area, then you know that Acres Homes is like not the most pleasant place, but also it's not the worst. It's not. I would say it's not the worst. Third Ward is definitely worse. I would say that. I will say that. But yeah, it could definitely be a lot better where I'm from. And growing up in that type of environment, you didn't really get a lot of role models that went to college, so you can get like, I would guess, guidance on what to expect. And being from an area where there's like mostly Black and Hispanic people, coming to U of H, one of the most diverse universities in the entire country, seeing like Native American people, Asian people, and I had Asian friends, stuff like that, and like where I went, but like it was like mainly the main demographic was Black and white, and not white, Black and Hispanic people. I even tell people this all the time. I only knew about a handful of white people before I even went to UH, which is a lot of people think that's crazy because they went to like predominantly white institutions and like schools and stuff of that nature, but that's not the reality for a lot of people. And I just wanted to say that one of the biggest things being a first generation college student coming from that type of background is just, like I was saying, seeing all the different types of people, all the different types of culture. Like cultural diffusion is real crazy. And I think that this experience actually opened my eyes up to see that there's other things, other aspects of life that are worth living rather than just my way of living. And obviously, when I say worth living, I don't mean like everyone has their own like levels of worth, and whatever your worth is will be determined by where you live and all that matter. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like there's other ways of living that, you may think your way of living is perfectly fine, but there's other ways of living that are also quite valuable that you may not even know about, and you may like even more, but you never knew about them because you're being so segregated in your section. And that's one thing I really had to break out of my box and realize that there were other cultures out there, and instead of just like demeaning them or trying to keep my culture pure within myself, I should diversify myself and just allow myself to immerse in the culture. And that's just something I really respect myself for doing, and respect, college for bringing forth to people. Another thing I wanted to address for being a college student from a lower income neighborhood is that you don't really have a concept of academic excellence in these type of schools that you go to until you go to college. And it's like, I went to a school where I was in AP school. I was in AP class, right? I was in AP classes all high school. And, I was just cruising by because I was getting like B's, C's, but since I was in AP, my GPA was like super boosted. So I didn't really have like a initiative to actually try. But when I got to college, it would be the people in the most basic classes, and they're trying their hardest because, they come from schools that teach you, every single assignment you have to treat it like it's your last. You have to always be on top of your stuff. And like coming from my background, like I was saying, there's like something I was not used to at all. So that was also getting that workload, getting my work mindset right. It's one of the big things that I'm so glad I went to college for, because I feel like I had no work ethic until I got to college. I was seeing all my roommates, getting like, not getting, but they had like coming into college like 1400s in the SAT. They tried really hard in high school. And then when they got to college, they even went harder. They got into internships, all that stuff. And I felt like I was lagging behind because I wasn't even informed about all this stuff. Because, being a first generation college student, no one in your family knows what to expect. So you just go into college and you're just kind of the guinea pig. So that was something that I had to learn myself. And I'm still struggling with understanding how to actually get into internships, businesses, job predicaments, things of that nature, because life isn't just about what you know, it's about who you know. And obviously, I grew up in a family where we don't have any socioeconomic standing. We don't have any type of leverage. So the only people I know are my people, or like the people that I've acquired at college. So that was also something. It's really big culture. And I would say that college definitely has made my work ethic a lot better. Like, the reason I even started music is because, oh wait, I don't know if I want to get into it. Actually, I'll get into it. Fuck it. Okay, so the reason I even started music, it wasn't because I just felt like I have to start music. I have to do something in order to do something in my life. I've always wanted to do music. I just always felt, one, the pressure of being judged online, and just two, just the initiative of actually doing it, you know? Because you can have all these ideas in your head, all these wonderful, multi-layered, multifaceted ideas in your head. But if you don't actually apply them, then the ideas would just be that, ideas. I forgot what rapper said this. I think it was Corday, but I think they said daydreaming ain't paying the bills. And yeah, when I heard, like, thinking about that, daydreaming is not paying the bills. You have to like actually get off your ass and do shit. And that's something that being in college really taught me how to do. And I'm really grateful for it. Another thing that I've also learned in college is that to branch out more, because I used to be like really introverted because I was bullied a lot of my life, like basically into like 6th, 7th grade, like middle school. So like I had like a really big wall that I put on top of myself, not on top of myself, in front of myself to like kind of shut out the outside world because I was just so traumatized from multiple times to just being verbally abused, physically abused, that I just, instead of like looking for the outliers, everyone was outlier. I trusted no one. And being in college made me realize that you're going to be lonely living on campus if you don't branch out, if you don't get out of your comfort zone. And that's something that I'm glad that I also got to experience with college, because I don't think I would have ever branched out if I didn't have college. Because after like I got caught up in a bunch of legal stuff when I was younger, which I'll go into in another podcast, I just decided to like leave the outside world because, you know, I just felt like it was just too much going on. So I stayed inside playing video games, got really antisocial because, you know, playing video games, you can play online and talk to people online, but it's not the same as physically interacting with them. So I think that college also really helped me break out of that shell and realize that not everyone is against you. And if you see someone that's against you, just avoid them. Just don't talk to them anymore. It's that simple. And, you know, it may seem that simple now, but whenever you're a super anxious person and you just see someone new, and the first thing you think about is just all those other times of seeing new people and they just treated you so badly and tormented you. So breaking out of that shell is something that I'm really glad I got to experience with college. I don't really have a script for these. I always like to do these super unscripted, so I don't really know what else I could really say about college that I've learned. I guess also I could say that another thing that I learned is that it's not necessarily about how much you work, it's about how hard you work. Because I will be spending like 3-4 hours at a time on my assignments when I got into that grind of college, you know, that you have to start to get into actually doing schoolwork and stuff. I would get into that grind and I realized I wasn't really accomplishing much in that time because I was wasting it, you know, spending probably 30 minutes actually doing something and then 20 minutes on my phone or something like that. So I guess productive habits is something else that I've also picked up from college. Like whenever I start doing an assignment, I will turn off my phone now. I'll make sure that I have no contact with the outside world until I'm done, because even though I'm like 23 years old, I'm still Gen Z, and like I'm still susceptible to all the social media of this generation. It's not like only people of our generation are susceptible to this type of... Oh, sorry, I just got a phone call right now. But I'm not saying that only people of our generation are susceptible to social media. I'm just saying that we're more susceptible since we grew up with it, while other cultures are kind of... Not cultures, other generations are kind of getting accustomed to it. So yeah, I would say definitely productive habits is one of the biggest things that I learned in college. But I would say the biggest thing I've learned in college is to just not take life too seriously, or not take yourself too seriously, rather. It's just like, no matter how smart, no matter how much you know, no matter how influential you are, at the end of the day, we're all flawed human beings living on this planet. We may be part of different races, but we're all part of the human race. So, you know, never see yourself bigger than the person next to you, even if you feel like you're smarter than them. I would say that's the biggest thing I've learned, just to humble myself and realize that I'm actually not the shit, you know? Because in high school, I thought I was the shit. I played like all these instruments. I was all these clubs, the president of all these clubs. But then you get to college and you realize that, oh, everyone was basically you, but at their school. So you're actually, it's not that you're not shit. It's just that you have to realize that you're not the only person who has ambition in life, has goals in life, have things they want to accomplish. And being around a bunch of like-minded people is actually very much motivation to me to keep on striving for my best. Because like I was saying, I'm come from an area that the only ambition people have is, can I survive to the next day? Can I provide for my family? You know, so seeing people have ambitions from there to go to, I want to be a CEO, I want to invent something. It's just something that was really eye-opening, and I'm glad that I got to experience. But yeah, I'll basically say that's my experience as a graduating first generation college student from a lower income neighborhood. It's been a great experience, and I hope that a lot of other people from areas like me can learn that it may be intimidating at first, but once you get your bearings and once you get your shit together, it's actually pretty fun, and it can be very informative, not just in the lectures, not just by your professors, but you learn so much about life. If you live on campus, you can learn how to take care of yourself, learn how to interact with all types of people from different backgrounds and cultures. You know, it's honestly, no matter how expensive college is, I would say college is worth it just for the experience alone. Because I feel like I've come out a way better person because of college. Anyways, guys, I feel like that'll be my time today. Thank you all for listening. If you made it this far, make sure to subscribe to my podcast. I'll be posting as frequently as I can. I'll try to get better at speaking. I'm still kind of nervous on the mic, so if you heard me stuttering or maybe not enunciating as well as I could, just please bear with me. Anyways, this has been Trip Sitting with Divonis, and thank you for watching or listening, wherever you are.